Hi, everybody. Hello, my fabulos and fabulas and fabulous first grade. Hello, learning coaches with INDLS. We have a wonderful story today. Oh, I'm so sorry. Yo te amo. I love you very much. Ni hao, bonjour, zdravo, osio, all the wonderful ways we have learned hello so far. And ni hao is Chinese. We're learning that today. So, my wonderful friends, today we are reading a story out of our K-12 Classics for Young Readers, Volume A, and this is for Week 5, Day 2 and 3, which are your lessons 3.5 and 3.6. The story that I'm going to read today is King Midas. Oh, and some of you have even heard of that story before. Now, this is a long one. This is pages 26 all the way to 33. Okay, so kiddos, you know the drill. I need you to go pause the video and go get this book if you don't already have it. Alrighty? King Kong is watching you. Go. Oh, okay, you're back. All right, okay, here we go. So, I need you to find page 26. Okay, and remember what we do first. I'm going to do a picture walk, and then I'm going to read through the story. I'd love you to keep looking at those pictures and listen to me. And if you need to, you can even close your eyes and paint a picture in your mind. And then I'd love for you to listen to it again, following along, even though I know I talk a little fast. We want to get to the point where we can read some of these, excuse me, itchy nose, where we can read some of this and those high frequency words on our own. Okay, so page 26, King Midas. Okay, so I'm looking at the first picture and I see a cat sleeping. I see a beautiful young girl with long hair and flowers in her hair. She looks like she's picking flowers. And then on the next page, I see it looks like, well, I don't know, he looks pretty important. He's wearing a crown of maybe gold, and he's holding jewels, and there's a lot of gems and money and gold there, and there's a person pointing. I don't know what's going on. Turn the page on 28. There's a lot of writing, but I see a dragonfly at the bottom, and then if I look on page 29, if you have heard the story before, you know what's going on. The person that we saw on the previous page is now touching everything, and everything seems to look like a yellow color, but it's all shiny. I wonder what that is, a yellow color. Turn the page to page 30, and ooh, I see a meal. I see fish and a drink, and they're that yellow color too and sparkly. And then there's another picture. I think that might be an egg. That's that yellow color too. Okay, look at page 31. Uh-oh. I see that same person again with that crown of golden leaves, and there's a kitty cat there, and that kind of looks like the girl that we saw at the beginning of the story, but now she's that yellow shiny color too. The man doesn't look so happy. Turn the page, page 32. There's nothing on that page to look at, but look at the last page, page 33. He looks a whole lot happier, and look, he's back to all different colors. And oh, the girl is back too with her flowers, and there's the kitty cat playing. Oh, okay. So now that we've done that picture walk, now I'm going to read the story. So we're on page 26. Remember, I want you to follow along and look at those pictures as I read. Here we go. Once upon a time, there lived a very rich king whose name was Midas. This king was very fond of gold. He loved it more than anything in the world. King Midas had a little daughter named Marigold. When Marigold picked buttercups and dandelions, he used to say, "If these flowers were as golden as they look, I would pick them." Page 27. One day, King Midas was in his treasure room counting his treasure. He looked up and saw a stranger in the room. "You are a rich man, friend Midas," said the stranger. "Yes, I have some gold," answered Midas, "but it is not enough." "What?" cried the stranger. "Are you not happy?" Midas shook his head. "What would make you happy? What do you wish?" Do you know what he's going to wish for? Turn the page. King Midas thought and thought. At last he looked at the stranger and said, I wish that everything I touch may turn to gold. Are you sure you would be happy then? Yes, answered Midas, I would ask for nothing more. It shall be as you wish, said the stranger. Tomorrow at sunrise you shall have the golden touch. Now, friends, if you're listening, open your eyes real quick. There's a little squiggly design here in the middle of that page. That means time has passed. Okay, so after the squiggly line. When the sun peeped into the room, King Midas jumped out of bed. He touched a chair. It turned to gold. He touched the bed and the table, and they were changed to solid, shining gold. He dressed himself, and all of his clothes were golden. Then King Midas went into his garden. Now, he thought, I can have the most beautiful garden in the world. So he touched all the leaves and flowers, and they became shining gold. That's what's happening on page 29. All the yellow is gold, shiny gold. Turn the page to page 30. When the king had done this, he was hungry, so he went to the palace for his breakfast. He tried to drink some water. When he touched it to his lips, it turned to gold. He touched the fish on his plate. It became a pretty gold fish, and he could not eat it. He took an egg. That, too, turned to gold. Just then Marigold ran to her father and put her arms about his neck. Good morning, dear father, she said. The king kissed his little daughter. My dear, dear Marigold, he cried, but Marigold did not answer. What happened? Alas, what had he done? His dear daughter, his sweet little Marigold, was changed to gold by his kiss. Page 31. King Midas began to cry. Now at last he did not care for gold. His little daughter was dearer to him than all the gold in the world. How can I live without my dear Marigold, he thought. I would give all my money if my little girl could come back to me. Turn the page, page 32. Then the stranger came again. Well, friend Midas, he said, how do you like the golden touch? I am very unhappy, said Midas. I know now that gold is not everything. Let us see, said the stranger. Which do you think is worth more, the golden touch or a cup of water? A cup of water, cried the king. The golden touch or a crust of bread? Give me a crust of bread, answered the king. The golden touch or your dear little Marigold? Oh, my child, my dear child, cried Midas. She is worth more than all the gold in the world. Go then to the river at the foot of your garden, said the stranger. The water in the river will take away the golden touch. Fill this pitcher with water and sprinkle everything you have touched. King Midas ran through the garden and jumped into the river. Then he filled the pitcher and ran back to the palace. He sprinkled the water over the golden child, and she became his own little laughing, dancing Marigold once more. Now, mis amigos y mis amigas, think about it. I'm looking on page 32, and it said, which do you think is worth more? The golden touch or a cup of water? Well, I'm going to say the golden touch is probably more expensive, but is it worth more? Do you see how there's two different ways you can look at the word worth? So I want you to think about what was the problem in the story and what was the solution, and what lesson did King Midas learn? Think about the two ways we can look at worth. What is important in your heart and what is worth a lot, maybe money. Think about the setting. Where did this story take place? I see a lot of outside, but what does King Midas, where does he live? It starts with a P. Where does he live? That whole story takes place all there. Turn to your learning coach and see if you can figure out what that P word is of where King Midas lives. I love you so much. I hope you enjoyed this story. Hasta luego. I'll see you real soon.